The DeSoto Plymouth dealers, from coast to coast, in every state in the Union, present Groucho Marx in You Bet Your Life. And now, here he is, the one, the only...
Groucho! What a grisly name. Oh, that's me. Well, here I am again with $1,500 for one of our couples. Then even say the secret word, the duck will fly down, pay him $100. The word tonight is smile. Okay, duck, get lost. George, who's first?
Well, Groucho, we have a young married couple for you tonight. And when you meet them, I think you'll understand why I invited them to the show tonight. They're sort of special guests. So, Mr. and Mrs. Bob Mathias, would you come in, please, and meet Groucho Marx?
Well, welcome, kids, for the DeSoto Plymouth dealer. Say the secret word and take home an extra $100. It's a common word, something you always have with you. In case there's anybody who doesn't recognize him, this fellow happens to be the greatest all-around athlete of our time. He's the male Babe Dietrichson. What's your first name, Mrs. Mathias?
Melba.
Melba. Obviously, you're the toast of California. How long have you been married, Melba?
Oh, about 8.5 months, Groucho.
Mm-hmm. But you knew all about him when he was doing all that jumping and running, huh?
That's right. Uh-huh.
Well, since you caught him, I'd say you were the greatest athlete of our time.
Thank you.
How old are you, Bob?
23, Groucho.
Well, you're a pretty big fella, huh? How big are you?
Well, I'm 6'3", 205 pounds.
And what do you weigh, Melba?
About 118.
He's twice as big as you are. Does he scare you?
No.
It was always that way, ever since Samson and Delilah. She's probably planning to give him a haircut any day now. She's already trimmed him. How'd you meet Bob? Do you remember the very first time you saw him?
Oh, yes. He was on the cover of Life magazine.
And what did you do? Ask him to get off so you could read it? Well, how did you actually meet him?
Well, it was at Stanford University. I was going around a corner, and he was coming from the opposite direction. And we bumped into one another, and he knocked me down, and he said, "Excuse me," and picked me up and went on.
That's all he did, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Probably shows more sympathy when he knocks down a high hurdle. How about Bob's athletic victories? What are some of his achievements, Melba? Do you recall?
Well, I think two of his greatest was...
marrying you, I think.
Thank you. Was during the last two Olympics in 48 and 52. He won the Decathlon event both years, and in 52, he set a world and Olympic record and amassed the most points for the event.
Well, what is a decathlon, Bob? Is that where you catch the greased pig?
No, I'm afraid not. The decathlon is 10 track and field events, and they cover a 2-day period. The first day...
You don't go to bed at all?
Yes, you do, The decathlon covers 2 days, 5 events the first day, 5 events the second day.
What do they consist of?
Well, I can tell you that. The first day, you start off with the 100 meters. The second event is the broad jump, followed by the high jump, the shot put, and the 400 meters. The second day, you start off with the 110-meter high hurdles, followed by the discus, the pole vault, the javelin, and the 1,500 meters, which is 120 yards short of a mile. And that's all there is to it.
Sounds simple, huh? Sounds like the dance program at Hollywood High. Have you always been athletic, Bob?
No, I haven't. When I was 13, I was anemic. I was tired and weak and a 90-pound weakling.
You were tired and run down at the age of 13?
Yes, sir.
Took me 40 years to get in that condition. Well, how did you change from this miserable little crawfish into this legendary athlete?
Well, my father is an MD and surgeon, a doctor, and he prescribed lots of rest, the proper foods, and gave me iron shots.
So what is your ambition, Bob? Are you still continuing your athletic career?
Well, I took up golf about five months ago.
Golf? Say, you really have a high ambition, huh? You want to be president, huh? Well, Palm Springs is a great place. What is your best score at golf?
85.
85. Well, we're about the same there. Is that for 18 holes or 9?
18, I'm afraid.
18.
Yes.
Well, mine is for 3 holes. But that's for cheating, huh? What's the highest jump you've made?
6 foot 4 inches.
Well, I've done that better than that many a time. Yeah, really have. You seem skeptical. Do you doubt this, Melba? Huh?
Well, yes, I think so.
Well, how high would you say the window of a third-story apartment is? What are your plans for the immediate future, Bob? Are you in training for the next Olympics?
No, I'm not. I'm through with track and field, but right now we're getting ready to make a motion picture called The Bob Mathias Story.
Oh.
Picture about my life.
Who's going to play the part of Bob Mathias?
I am.
Could you use me as the 13-year-old? What happens when the picture's over? What are you going to do?
After the picture, I go into the United States Marine Corps for 2 years.
Oh. Well, in that case, my congratulations to the Marine Corps, huh? They're certainly getting a one-man army. Well, I've certainly enjoyed meeting you two.
Thank you.
It'd be nice if all the American couples looked like you two. Beautiful girl and a handsome athlete.
Oh, thank you very much.
Here I am. Let's see how much money we start you off with a bankroll of $100. You're both college students, so you ought to be pretty smart. Every time you miss a question, you lose half of whatever your bankroll amounts to at the time. Now, let's see how much money you can make. You select a general information quiz. And remember, the more the question is worth, the harder it is. Now, you can start with a $10 question, 50, 80, 100.
70.
You name it. What was the name of the celebrated French line of fortifications along the German frontier?
Motional line? Was that the Motional line?
Maginot Line.
Maginot
Well,
Line.
that's close enough, yes.
No.
You're on your way. Your bankroll is now $170.
Now, what do you want to try?
60?
We'll try 60.
60. What do the following have in common? Kohinoor, Great Mogul, and Hope. Kohinoor, Great Mogul, and Hope. They're all the same. They have different names. You don't know, guess.
Comedians.
Well, there is a Hope comedian. I don't know any Kohinoor, though, a Great Mogul. Well, they're all famous diamonds.
Well, you
Oh,
lost half your bankroll, so you still have $85.
All right, now what do you want to try?
80.
$80.
What do you associate with words cumulus, stratus, and cirrus? I believe that's how you pronounce it.
Clouds.
Clouds is good enough. Don't go any further.
Your bankroll is now $165.
Now, what do you want to try? Here's your last chance to beat the other couples.
$90.
$90. This is the last hurdle. Whose picture is on the regular issue of the 3-cent stamp?
Washington or Jefferson?
What do you think?
If you don't know, guess.
Washington or Jefferson? Which one?
Say it. Jefferson? Jefferson.
We'll try.
That's right, Jefferson. You gave me a heart rate. Thanks and good luck to the Soda Plymouth deal.
And you wind up with a total of $255. We invited some business women to the show tonight, Groucho, and just before we went on the air, our studio audience selected Mrs. Lindy Jamel to be your guest. Her partner is a businessman, Mr. C.W. Wiggle. So, folks, would you come in, please, and meet Groucho Marx.
Well, welcome, youngsters. For the DeSoto Plymouth dealer, say the secret word and you'll divide $100. It's a common word, something you see every day. Mrs. Lindy Gannell. Let's start with you. Where is your home, Lindy?
Well, I came from Sigourney, Iowa.
Sigourney Island?
Sigourney, Iowa. That's an Indian chieftain's name.
Oh. What sort of work do you do, Mrs. Gemmell?
Well, I have a foster freeze.
I didn't ask you where you were frozen, Mrs. Gemmell. I just was interested to know what sort of work you do.
Oh, you mean what foster freeze is? Well, We're a small independent business, and we have 200 stores in the state of
A
California.
small independent business?
Small
You have
independent
200
business.
stores?
200 stores in the
What do
state
you
of
consider a
California.
large business?
Well, larger than the little store I operate.
Treasury Department or something?
Well,
Well, what is the stuff good for? Do you rub it on your chest when you have a cold?
oh no, it's food. It's the most delicious and healthy food there is. We have all the flavors.
You do, huh?
We
Well, how
have
does it taste?
chocolate, strawberry, chocolate riffle.
Oh, I see. And who are you again?
I am C.W. Wiggle.
That's an odd name. Certainly a new twist, Wiggle. It sounds like an English name, is it?
No, it is not, Groucho. It's Swiss origin.
Swiss?
That's right.
Can you yodel?
No, I cannot.
I ask all Swiss people if they can yodel because it's commonly accepted that they can all yodel. What is your full name, Mr. Wiggle?
C. Wilbert Wiggle.
I'd rather see Marilyn Wiggle if I... However, go ahead. I'd be glad to see Wiggle, Wilbert Wiggle. Wilbert, is it?
That's right.
I'm sure you must get kidded about your name, huh?
Yes, I do,
You
Groucho.
must hear many wisecracks. What are some of those you hear?
Why, when I was a kid in school, the teacher in school called me Wiggle by name and Wiggle by nature, and then as I grew up and put on this weight, why, everybody called me Wee Willie Wiggle.
You must have lost a lot of friends that way, didn't you? Huh?
No, I've made a lot of friends.
What sort of job do you do, Wiggle, or have?
I am district
Operator.
manager for the National Federation of Independent Business. Now, that's an organization of
Do you ever drop in on Linda here?
I haven't as yet, but probably I will after the show. What we do is call on these businessmen.
Are you married? You're married.
Oh, yes, I'm married.
Would you take your wife with you when you went to visit?
My wife is always with me. She's right up in the audience right now.
Would she go with you to the Foster Freeze place?
Oh, certainly, at all times.
Apparently she's onto you, huh? Well, Wilbert, I'm all in favor of the small businessman. I think they're a very necessary and essential part of our economy. And after the show, we'll all have a Foster Freeze, shall we?
That's right.
Followed by a chaser of antifreeze. All right, now let's play You Bet Your Life. We'll start you off with a bankroll of $100.
In the race for the $1,500, the first couple won $255, and the secret word is smile.
You selected food quiz, and remember, the more the question is worth, the harder it is.
Make any difference, whatever you want.
Well, go ahead. You take it. 40?
Better make it a cheap one to get one.
Okay, we'll make it 40.
40. Okay, if the meat from a sheep is called mutton, what do you call meat from a calf?
Veal.
That is right.
You now have $140.
Now, what do you want to try?
The 51 or the 31?
50.
All right, we'll try the 50, Groucho.
50? What kind of a fruit is a royal anne?
That's a cherry.
That is right. That's right. That's a cherry.
Your bankroll is now $190.
Let's try a 30 this time.
Okay.
Let's try a 30 this time.
A 30?
Yes.
Okay. What do you call the heart, liver, and gizzard of poultry? Talk it over.
Intro.
Entrails? What do you say? No. I guess not. I don't know.
Well, it's giblets.
Giblets.
Yeah,
Should have known that.
Yeah, she said
Pretty
it
easy
right
one,
after
man. Here's your last chance to beat the other couple.
Well, you've lost half your bankroll, so you have $95.
You have $95. Now, you can quit or go ahead.
Yeah, hard one. Let's take the easy one.
20? 20 or 60? 60.
60. A popular Japanese alcoholic beverage is made from rice. What is it called?
Sake?
That is right. Sake is right. Thanks and good luck, Minnesota Plymouth Deal.
And you wind up with $155.
Thank you very much. George, who's next?
Well, Groucho, we invited some dog show judges to our program tonight. And before we went on the air, our studio audience selected Donya Cline to be on the show. And her partner is a visitor from the Middle West, Mr. Louis Menke. So, folks, would you come in, please, and meet Groucho Marx.
Welcome to You Bet Your Life. Say the secret word and divide $100. It's a common word. Something you always have with you. I've been saying this for 7 years, and I still can't say it. Mrs. Donia Cline and Mr. Louis Menke, huh? Mrs. Cline, you're a dog show judge?
Yes?
Well, don't be nervous. I won't bite. Louis Menke, huh? Menke.
Yes, sir, that's me.
You're a dog judge?
No, I'm just a farmer.
Oh, farmer. Pig judge, huh?
Well, I'm a pretty good judge of pigs, yes.
Oh. Well, don't look at me, huh?
But I still have a good dog, though.
You have?
Oh, yeah, we keep one good dog. I'll tell you, Mr. Marx, I say a good dog is worth $1,000 on a farm. I'll tell you why. If I'd have a dog down in my cellar and my house would go fire, he'd bark and scratch on the door. He might save my whole family's life.
Well, if he didn't come out, he'd be a hot dog.
He would be a hot dog. He's still going to come out if he's able to.
Yes, you're
A dog is your best friend. He'll never go back on you. You can spank him a dozen times, and when you say, "Come on, puppy," he's got more sense than lots of people have.
You can say that again.
Absolutely.
You can say that again, and I hope you don't. A dog is a man's best friend, and you don't have to pay it any alimony either. I've seen a lot of dogs that have been gotten alimony.
I'll tell you a good story now on a dog. What a man did
Wait
one
just
time.
a moment. Are you married?
No, sir, I'm never married.
You're not married?
I'm not married, but I'm the happiest.
Why not?
I'm the happiest old bachelor in the state of Iowa.
You enjoy being a bachelor?
Do I ever enjoy? If I wasn't an old bachelor, I couldn't be in California tonight. I'd have to be down in Iowa taking maybe dictation from my wife, but I have no wife.
What do? Take dictation from the dog?
No, sir, he don't dictate me either.
Well, do you have a lot of fun as a bachelor?
I have more fun than any man in the United States. I do for a fact.
Well, how is that? Do you take
I'll
all
tell
your
you-
corn and distill it?
I don't even drink, Mr. Marx, but I'll tell you what I do.
You don't drink?
I don't drink, cuss, swear, or even run women. But my pleasure...
What do you mean, run women? You don't run women, you run cattle and sheep.
Lots of fellows chase them. Lots of fellows chase women, but I don't do that.
You don't chase
No,
women? Don't they have no attraction for you at
Well,
all?
I would say just no attraction, but I never hooked up with one. I love them all, but I never hooked up with one. In fact, I never want to be under a woman's thumb. I want to be my own boss. And I'm going to keep it that way. I've done it for 54 years, and I believe I can try it a little longer. But listen, if I ever do get married, I'm going to stick with her for life. I ain't going to do like some of these folks. The first thing you know, when you get married to a half a dozen women, it'll be your kids and my kids is fighting our kids. Not over...
If you don't get married soon, you won't have any kids.
Not over...
You better stick to that dog in the cellar, huh?
They always say there's one and only Groucho Marx. You're a very good sport. I'm the only one and only Louis Menke in the state of Iowa.
Well, I admire you, Louis. You're a fine
We'll
fellow.
keep it that way, Groucho.
He's got an answer for everything, huh? Doesn't always add up, but it's an answer. Donia, you're a dog show judge. That's right? Well,
Yes.
I may have a question to ask you later about a certain gay dog that I know. Huh? What kind of dogs do you judge? Four-legged or two-legged?
Well, I judge the four-legged kind. I judge all of the hounds in the
Four-legged
hound
or
group.
two-legged, huh?
Four-legged ones. Afghans, beagles, bloodhounds, borzois, whippets, and those that are in the hound group mostly.
Oh, by the way, Mrs. Cline, I happened to read a piece in a recent issue of Coronet magazine. This piece is called Dogs Are Dumb. Did you read that?
Yes, I certainly did.
And do you agree with that?
No, I don't agree with it because the man asked the dogs to drop little round balls and square holes and do a lot of kindergarten stuff that dogs are not inclined for. And if the man who wrote this article knew anything about dogs, he wouldn't say that they're dumb, because I'd like to send the man down into a badger hole and see what he could do with a badger. That's what our dachshunds do. And I'd like to see what he could do about retrieving a duck or pointing birds out in the field and a few of the things that dogs really can do. Perhaps the most wonderful example of intelligence with dogs are the dogs which are trained for seeing eye.
Yeah.
And if anyone can say that dogs are dumb and watch one of those seeing eye dogs work, and well, I just can't agree with him at all.
In other words, we say he's all witness. It pays all.
Well, Louis, tell us about your farm in Iowa. What kind of a farm is it?
Well, it's a stock farm. It's mostly cattle and hogs is the main goal. But we raise corn and beans and oats and a little wheat for the chickens and alfalfa. And,
Is there money in farming?
Well, if there wasn't, I wouldn't be here today.
Where would you be?
Well, I'd probably be out working every day.
You don't regard that as work on a
Well,
farm?
sure it's work, but I'll tell you why we have it. A farmer has over most city people. I'll tell you why. If I want to work 24 hours, I can work 24 hours. If you want to punch a clock for 8 hours and you miss an hour or so in the morning, you're out. But if I oversleep, I can work an hour over in the evening, I can make it up. If I have a rainy day, I can go to town all day. When it gets good, I can work 2 days in one. I got it over you. I can put you in the factory, Mr. Marx, and you run a machine.
Not so loud. My sponsor's liable to hear.
I don't care for your sponsors. I got the floor now.
Well, I do, huh? Well, how about a bride, Louis?
A bride?
Do you have any ideas on what you'd like if
Well,
you
I'll
get
tell you.
married?
Yes, sir. I like a little beauty, but beauty's only skin deep, and the other fellow said, for Lord's sake, skin her. But we'll not do that tonight. We'll have Some people try to live on love. They try that for about 6 months. They find out that doesn't work. But we have a sign in our little restaurant down home. It says, if your wife can't cook, don't divorce her. Keep her for a pet and eat here. But who wants to keep her for a pet?
Louis, you're sort of a cracker-barrel philosopher, aren't you?
More truth and poetry. Last week, it was a couple had a bunch of kids going to school, and one little kid said, I don't like your daddy. He says, why? He said, because he drinks. He said, how do you know? He said, we had him last year.
And who knows who'll get him next year?
Your guess is good as mine.
It's been a delightful experience talking to you two. Now it's time to play You Bet Your Life. We start you off with a bankroll of $100, and you try to increase it. Is that clear?
Clear as mud.
All right. Each time you miss a question, you lose half of whatever you've got at the time.
In the race for the $1,500, Mr. and Mrs. Bob Mathias are still leading with $255.
Let's see how much money you can make. You selected the animal kingdom, and remember, the more the question is worth, the harder it is. Are you ready?
Well, you were worried about starting too high, so we'll start at about $60.
About $60.
$60. What kind of an animal is a Clydesdale?
That's a horse.
That's a horse, is correct, then.
Real woolly teeth.
Well, your bankroll is now $160.
Now, what do you want to try?
You want to go up or down?
Well, it's up to you.
Well, I thought you didn't want any women to rule your life.
Age before beauty. Age before beauty.
Take the $50 one then.
All right, we'll say 50-50.
$50. What is the name of the huge vulture of the South American Andes? It is one of the largest birds that flies.
Oh, the vulture in the Andes.
Talk it over. It's part of the vulture family.
Pelican.
No, that's not a vulture.
No, it's a condor. C-O-N-D-O-R.
Well, you lost half your bankroll. You now have $80.
All right, now what do you want to try?
You better take 70 or 80. What do you want
Let's
to do?
take 70.
All right.
All right, what is the science of ornithology? Talk it over.
Oh, that's birds. Science of birds.
Study of birds is right.
You now have $150.
And there's your last chance to beat the other couples. You can quit or you can proceed.
Well, let's take $90.
All right.
$90. What kind of animals live in warrens?
In where?
Warrens. W-A-R-R-E-N-S.
Those aren't there.
Talk it over.
Wrens that live in the warrens.
Whatever.
I think
Birds.
Some of the bird family, not.
Wrens.
No, you should have known this, Louis. It's rabbits.
And you wind up with one half your bankroll, so you have $75.
Thanks and good luck from the DeSoto Plymouth dealers.
That means, Groucho, that Mr. and Mrs. Bob Mathias, with $255 in just 1 minute, get the chance at the DeSoto Plymouth $1,500 question. And here's the winning couple, Groucho.
Where is it?
Mr. and Mrs. Bob Mathias, all set for the DeSoto Plymouth $1,500 question.
I'll give you 15 seconds to decide on a single answer between you. Think carefully and please no help from the audience. In the last presidential election, Adlai Stevenson ran on the Democratic ticket. For $1,500, who was his running mate? Talk it over. You got 15 seconds.
Alabama.
He's out. Oh, I don't know.
What's the answer you two have decided upon?
No, all I know is he's from Alabama or Southern State, but that's all I
Well,
know.
it's John Sparkman.
Oh.
That's too bad.
So that means the big question next week will be worth $2,000. Well, you lost the big money, but how much they win the quiz, George?
$255 in the
Well,
quiz.
congratulations, and thanks to both
Thank
of
you,
you and to
Groucho.
all of our contestants on the show tonight.
Don't forget the stunning DeSoto Automatic and the high-style Plymouth. Both great products of the Chrysler Corporation.
Friends, go in to see your DeSoto Plymouth dealers tomorrow and see the 1954 DeSoto Automatic. And when you do, tell them Groucho sent you.
Be sure to tune in next week, same time, same station, for the Groucho Marx Show, DeSoto Plymouth Dealers of America. And don't forget Groucho Marx on radio every Wednesday night. This is George Fenneman signing off with a reminder from the National Safety Council. You're looking for trouble when you look away from the road.